Hey man, who are you kids?
So
I don't even know what to say.
You want to be asked out?
Hey, it's Jen.
And it's Eileen.
How's your Valentine's Day been?
It's been okay.
Do you have a date?
No.
No, I don't. We asked you guys some Valentine's Day questions.
And we'll go over them now. So first of all, we have chocolate versus flowers, as if someone's gonna give it to you for Valentine's. So out of 84 people, we had a tie of 42 to 42.
Which is kind of surprising because usually ties don't happen, I think.
I think I might be a flower person. Kind of like, it's interesting what kind of, I think not a lot of people will go through this, but like I like to look into the depth and meanings of flowers, and that's kind of interesting. But then you always gotta consider like what kind of person is the receiver. Are they like a person who would rather have chocolate and eat, or would they rather have like flowers? What if the flowers like they die out? Like what would the person do with it? Would they just throw it away and that's that? Or what? I don't know.
I mean, for me, I think I voted chocolate because, I mean, I like to eat, obviously, but both gifts are good. It honestly just depends on the person you're giving to. And I think it's like, yeah, since it's a tie, it's honestly, you have to really think about what the person would want if you're giving it to someone. Yeah, it'd be kind of embarrassing if you give someone chocolate and they don't even like chocolate.
Oh, yeah. Or allergies.
Yeah.
We have gifts versus handwritten letters. So out of 84 people, 36 voted for gifts and then 48 for handwritten letters. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's kind of sweet that more people voted for handwritten letters because, I mean, I think I voted for that one because it's more of like a sentimental thing in my opinion, and I think that handwritten letters are something you can cherish and like read over again, whereas gifts may be something that can wear out or you won't use after a certain time.
Yeah, I think I chose gifts. It'd be kind of fun to like open up a little surprise and see what kind of thing that they would think that you might like, and it kind of shows what they think of you or what they think you think that you like. I don't know what you guys would think, but that's pretty interesting. Next part we have is fancy dinner versus night in. So out of 85 people, we have 17 for fancy dinner and 68 for night in, which is surprising to me. I would think, if you're gonna go out, you're gonna be asked out to go out, right?
Yeah.
Instead of staying in, or like after how many months we've been staying at home, I don't know why you might want to stay in even longer.
It's like surprising but not surprising because if we ask like people in our grade, I feel like they'd be more likely to vote night in since they're younger. I feel like younger people would be less likely to vote for fancy dinner. But it is true. I think it's surprising that people voted for night in after staying in practically for so long.
Then again, you would want to stay in and like snuggle next to your loved one or something.
We'll go pass it on to the next segment, which is Grace and Samantha.
Yay.
Thank you for that, Eileen and Jen. So now let's hear it for our Q&A.
So the first question that we got was, what would be your ideal way to be asked out?
So majority of the answers said somewhere nice on a date. I would definitely love to be asked out on a fancy dinner date. How about you think, Grace?
I would rather prefer like a small picnic instead of like fancy dinner.
That's
in front of
cute.
the crowd.
Someone also said by text. I personally wouldn't want to be asked out by text. What do you think?
I would definitely agree with that because it's less personal.
Personal. This leads us straight to our straightforward in person. What do you think?
I would definitely agree with straightforward in person because it's much more memorable than like by text.
So,
What do you think?
well, personally, I would have loved to be asked out, like bluntly, in public while arguing, and enemies to lovers. So, yeah. How about you?
I'm definitely like the opposite. Like I said, like a picnic or like just me and yeah.
This leads us to our second question. What do you look for in a relationship?
And people said they look for humor, like long term, and loyalty, nice and caring, and communication.
I definitely agree with communication because I think that's the best key to keep a healthy relationship going. What do you think?
I would say loyalty is the key in a relationship because that's how people last long and have those healthy relationships. Our last question is, do you believe in a true love?
Majority of the answers said yes, some said no, and some said multiple soulmates. I agree with multiple soulmates. I'd love to believe that there's multiple people out there that's waiting for me.
I would say there's only one soulmate in your life, and yet it's gonna take very long to find the one, but once you find them, like, you're gonna feel it that they're the one for you, you know?
So that's it for Q&A.
And let's hear it from Angelina and Edward for some good advice. Bye.
Hey, it's Edward.
And Angelina.
Ooh, and
And
okay, and here we are with our advice and scenario segments. So our first scenario or question was, how do you tell your parents that you are in a relationship? We asked you guys as well, and many of you guys have the simple answer of, do not tell your parents that you are in a relationship. Others said that they would wait until prom, and then some actually do need the answer to this. So what do you guys think?
honestly, it just depends on how serious the relationship is. If it's like really serious and you honestly like see it lasting and you trust your parents, then you obviously should tell them. But it honestly depends on like the relationship and the parents.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the parents because not all parents are like fine with their child being in a relationship and they're really strict about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a lot to talk about this question, and I got a lot of one experience about this question in English class or in sophomore year. Obviously now, we had this poem contest thingy, right? My topic was about love, and then so with that poem, I shared to the whole class basically, hey, here's my experience in a high school relationship. Pretty much it. It did not go really well, but I mean, YOLO, you only live once, and I was so grateful to experience that. And I just remember just seeing looking at the people's or hearing the people's voices and face, just like, oh, okay. However, though, I did end up winning, so that was a win to me. So I was feeling cocky. I was just like, wow, I'm so good at this poem thingy. Call me Edward Allan Poe. And so then I have a Facebook actually, but that's not important. Anyway, wait, it is important. Anyways, so I go on my Facebook, which is what I use to communicate with other family members and stuff. And I just made some people cry with my poem, and then it was really good. And then comments were just like, hey, let's hear it. And they're like, what was it about? Like, well, how was it so good that you made people cry? So I was just nervous. I was like, uh-oh, I just set myself up in this scenario. My dad comes home from work, and then he was just like, hey, what's your poem about? I want to hear it. And that's when I got scared, because I was like, my dad is going to whoop me if he hears about my relationship or the relationship that I used to have. So I did tell him about it. And then he just stares at me, and he's like, oh, so how was the person like? So then I told him, and he's just like, I see. And then he pauses, and it's just silent. And then he just goes, your mom's going to be pissed. And I was just like, oopsie. What do you call it? My mom doesn't come home until later. But when I told her, it was when we were eating dinner, Taco Bell. Because I was just like, we're eating, and like, it won't be as bad. So then we're just eating. I'm eating over here. And then my dad just goes, hey, your son has something to tell you about his poem. And then I just froze, and I was just like, yup, that's great. And then I just told her, and she was just like, what is your poem about? And then I could not take her serious with the food in her hand. I was just like, oh, just like some sad love story. And she was like, oh, okay. And then it just pauses, and I'm just like, oh dang, And then like after we're done eating, I just go, hey, remember that person that I would always FaceTime in the beginning of this year? And then she goes, yeah. And then she was just like, that's your boyfriend, isn't it? And I was just like, oh. And then like I thought in the beginning of the year that I was so slick that no one would know about this. I was like, my mom and dad are too dumb to realize that I'm in a relationship. Like, I win, I'm the best at everything. And then they just go, yeah, we do know. And I was just like, y'all know? And then they were just like, yeah, you always talked to him like, what, 24/7? Oh my gosh. So then I was just like, yeah. And then she just asked us the same question. She was just like, how did he look like and stuff? And then like, why did it end? And then I just told her basically everything. Yeah, she was just like really glad that I told her. And that she was like, it was still a good experience to like feel and stuff, you know, especially right now. With this question though, I think the best time or when to tell your parents would be just like what Jennifer said, when you're comfortable and like how close is that relationship as well. I think the closer you are and just to like prove like how like serious is this relationship, would probably like tell your parents like, oh, they're really serious about it, you know, and like just like lasting and stuff. So yeah, I think you should tell your parents if it is like really secured, because I think if you were like a parent, like if you think about it, would you rather have your child like hide this like relationship from you, being afraid about the consequences that would happen, and like having something like even terrible happen to them if they never told you? Because what, they could never like get your advice about it, right? Or like in different like scenarios and stuff. Or would you rather like have them like tell you like who it is, who they are, and all of that, so you can just like know, like as a parent, you and I, we don't have like anything hidden from each other, you know? So yeah, I think you should tell your parents, and you should just tell them, because yeah, they'll be angry at first, but I mean, it'll eventually go away.
And the next scenario says, I have been with my boyfriend for about a year, and him and his ex recently started talking again. They text nearly every day and plan to hang out next week. Is this considered cheating? And how do I stop from feeling jealous?
I feel like this is kind of common, just the feeling of jealousy in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's pretty, what I'd say, normal
Yeah.
to feel jealous, but I don't know if I'd consider it cheating unless they actually do things together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily cheating, because it could just be hanging out. But then if you're really that worried, I think you could bring it up with them. I feel like they'd be more open to talk about it, rather than if you like hold it in for so long and then like bring it up like during an argument or something. That would be like kind of bad. So if you're really that worried, then you should obviously bring it up. And if they kind of brush it off, then I don't know, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, just talk about it, and then not really call him out for cheating, but just like ask him about
The ex.
yeah.
Yeah, I think just to let everyone know here, I think jealousy is just like a regular thing in a relationship. Like everyone will always feel that way. But if your boyfriend and you, yeah, basically have been together for a year, then I feel like you should feel like secure enough to know that like they wouldn't cheat on me, you know? So I mean, yeah, just like what Jennifer and Angelina said, I think it wouldn't be considered cheating. But if you do feel that way, or you feel like they're being too close with their ex and stuff, then I feel like the best thing to do would just to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
I think communication is really important in a relationship, and just let them know how you feel, and they should be able to understand how you feel, you know, and to set boundaries from other people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one?
The next scenario is my partner and I are in a long distance relationship. I was wondering if things could work out or if it's worth it. I feel like
It's a hard question. It just
Yeah.
depends on like, I guess, the type of people you two are,
yeah.
and sometimes it depends on the distance. Like if it's like across the world, then that's really hard because like time zones and everything like that.
Yeah, it just depends how serious you guys are with each other.
Yeah, like if you guys think you guys can work together, then that's great and stuff.
Yeah.
But like also at the same time, long distance relationships are like what usually like breaks people and
Yeah.
stuff.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah. However, if it does break, I guess it wasn't like meant to be, you know. But if you guys think it can work out, then you guys should put some trust into it. Like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
especially now with high school, I think everyone's like thinking what college they're gonna go to, what they want to do in their life, what career path they want to do or like go to, or like where they want to live, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better off to just like not hold on to it and to just like let it go.
Yeah, trust is honestly a really important part of a relationship. So if you guys trust each other that much to be able to be in a long distance relationship, that kind of proves like how serious the relationship is. But if you guys like aren't the type of people to go through that, then just end it and have a proper conversation about it rather than just break up out of nowhere.
Yeah. And like, if you do break it up with them, I think it would be best to just tell them our careers are so different and stuff. I feel like our life pathways will be much
Yeah.
different from each other, and just to hope or wish them the best in their future as well. Our next one is, I've had this huge crush on a person for 6 months. We don't talk often, but I really want to get closer to them. Should I confess my feelings? How do I get closer to them without pushing my feelings onto them?
This one is a hard one. I feel like
All of these are hard.
that's true. These are hard situations. I think if you had a crush on them for 6 months, that's kind of a long time. I feel like it depends on how close you are. The person said that we don't talk often, so I'm guessing it's more like a acquaintance. I guess you should just get closer to them. If they're like in your class, talk to them some more, or if you have their number, try to start up a conversation with them, or like do hangouts where it's like multiple people, so you have a chance to talk to them, but it's not also like awkward where it's like a date or anything. And then after that, I guess you'll see how serious the crush actually is. If it's like you really want to be with them, or if it's just a crush.
Thank you, Kam Kast, for helping us out. Their channel is linked in the description below.
Yay.
Hello, and we're back.
The next scenario is, I have a crush on my best friend. I can't tell if it's an actual crush or it's just a friend thing. What should I do? And how do I tell if they could like my back?
I think that's supposed to say me back.
Should I leave the crush alone or stay friends?
Honestly, it depends on how you can tell if someone is a crush. For me, I can actually, it's kind of hard, but it's like there's a difference between telling if someone's your friend or a crush. If they're your friend, then sure, you want to be around them. But if you actually like them, then that's like you want to be around them constantly and want to be more their friends.
I remember on TikTok, like I think on like the beginning of the 2020 or something, I remember there's just like this trend happening where like you would like confess to your best friend.
wait,
You know
I think
those?
I know,
Yeah, or like that one audio and stuff would play, and then they'll be like, "Oh shoot!"
Oh,
And can you imagine like how like embarrassing would it be if you were like to like lean into your kiss onto
Oh
your
my
best
God,
friend and
that's
like
so
no with the
embarrassing.
video rolling?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of
That's like
to put them on the
50-50.
spot.
Yeah. How do you tell if it's an actual crush or a friend thing? Cause I never.
what is the line? I don't know.
Yeah, cause that also brings the topic to like, how do I know I like this person? You know,
Yeah, it's just up to you.
it's,
What
it's
do you
up to
wanna
you.
do?
Yeah.
Honestly, and if they're your best friend, it's kind of risky because, like, imagine if you get together but then you break up, you lose the best friend and
And
a significant other.
yeah,
It's up to you what you want. If you
Yeah.
feel like you actually like them and want to go for it, then
Mm-hmm.
just go for it. But you have to keep in mind that things might not go back to normal.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and like, how do I tell if they could like me back? I think that's also different as well, because like, yeah, there's like obvious signs a person can tell if they like someone, you know, but like sometimes it could just be a friend thing, because the thing is they're your best friend, so they could just be nice.
And be like close with you.
Yeah, and they could just be joking if they were to just like show
Yeah.
signs of them liking you, you know? So it honestly depends. If you want to like risk it, go ahead and stuff, but just know.
Depends on how brave you are.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
know like what can happen if you do.
And the next one says, I have a crush on someone, but my best friend has a crush on them too. They don't know I like that person as well. I liked them for a long time, but I don't know if I should just let my friend go for it or if I should go for it first. That one's really hard. It depends. Well, a long time is subjective. You can't really tell what. Well, obviously we don't know what a long time is.
Yeah.
But if you really, really like that person, you should, I guess, tell your friend. Because if you like go for it without telling them, then that would like hurt your friend.
Best thing to do is to tell your friend that that you like the person they like as well, you know? I'm pretty sure that can change a lot of things, but I think like you wouldn't want to lose that best friend, you know what I mean? Because like they've been there with you like, I don't know, for like how long, you know? And just for it to break off just because of some person,
Yeah.
you know the
Some
saying,
crush.
I don't know if I can say the saying, but you know, something before something. Just like in general, you know. So I think best thing to do is to tell your best friend that you like the person as well, because I'm pretty sure a best friend could like understand more, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be like way hurtful if you were to just confess to your crush there, and then
yeah.
like they're like, what do you mean? Because you knew that I
Yeah,
liked
yeah.
this person for so long, you know. Because
Yeah.
the other person could say the same exact thing.
You guys just both have to talk it out.
Just
Communication is key.
and pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, in relationships,
Or
friendships,
friendships, yeah.
just in general.
And that's it.
Happy Valentine's Day. If you're single, sucks to suck. I'm just kidding. Comment your opinions below and suggest any other ideas or topics that you would like to see from us in the future. Thank you. Bye.
Nice.
What's the button? I don't know what button. Hello?